got a smile on my face and I get full. I got the sun in the sky and all the water surrounds me. Oh, hey, oh, yeah, I went down, but sometimes I lose. I've been battered, but I never bruise. It's not so bad. And I say, well, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. Janie sits on the corner, what keeps her from dying? Yeah, let them say what they want, she won't stop trying. She might stumble if they push her around. She might fall, but she'll never lie down. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. It's alright. There's always some sorrow. Yeah, it's a double-edged knife, but there's always tomorrow. Oh, it's up to you to sink or swim. Just keep the faith and your ship will come in. It's not so bad. And they say, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. Hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I got a smile on my face. I got four walls around me.
Pierre Gautreau and the band. The Center for Spiritual Living Toronto Band. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. How is everyone today? Fantastic, fantastic. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister here, the spiritual director, or the pastor, whatever you want to call me. What was that? Hey you. You could say hey you. I respond to that sometimes. So a couple of things that I want to let you know about that are, well, first of all, so we're in rehearsal here on Friday night. And we hear the door open. Somebody walks in, somebody we've never seen before. We're like, oh, hello. He was passing out these little flyers because he found a camera on the street. So if you have recently lost a camera, there is a phone number here that you can call. So I told him that we would make that announcement this morning. So that's why. And then he was very surprised that we were, spiritual center. He says, what, you have services here? Yes, we do. Oh, that's interesting. So a couple of things that are going on here at the center. First of all, we are looking for additional help in the tech support department. We're going to be looking for people to help out with sound, help out with the new webcast. We're webcasting again today. Another test. So we welcome and say hello to the people that are watching online today. My dad is among them. So, and you're going to get to meet him this week. So, if you're interested in helping volunteer for the tech support department, and I can teach you like what you need to know to do that, because I used to do the tech support at the NoHo Art Center for New Thought. Basically sound mixing, video stuff, all of that. If you're interested in that or know somebody who is, please let me know, or you can contact Deja as well. We are still collecting pennies for our penny drive, and we've got that second jar almost filled up. I may go and see if I can find a third jar. And there will be a surprise prize. They're not a surprise, but there will be a prize after we like open it up to sing, to do the voting of how many pennies we think we've collected. And there will be a prize of some sort. Also, my installation is this Friday. And there's something very special waiting for me at the post office. You know, Spirit has an interesting way of working everything out, right? It made sure that I was not going to get my podium until my installation. So this is the last you should see of this lovely music stand. I'm used to it now. I don't know what, like the podium, it could be. So yes, if you have RSVP'd and you know you're not going to be able to come, please let us know, because we do have a waiting list for some people who are looking to come, but we're not able to accommodate them because of the numbers. So please let us know if you're not able to come. Also, a week from today, on Sunday, Charles Holt is going to be our special musical guest that day. I do have some unfortunate news. Because of some logistical things, we did have to cancel his workshop. And I do know that there was at least one person who's already paid for that. You will get a refund, obviously. So unfortunately, he's going, but be here for service next week, because I'm telling you, the way this man sings, he's going to blow the roof off of this place. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Also, we do have a board meeting coming up on Tuesday, May 29th. That's a week from this Tuesday. And the board meetings are open for the members of the center to come and observe and see how the board operates. So you're welcome to join us for that. Also on May 29th, if you are not going to the board meeting, then show up here for our meditation practice, which we're now moving to Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So meditation with Mark will now be on Tuesdays at 7. And on Wednesday, May 30th, I start the next 8-week class, Self-Mastery, Science of Mind 222. That's every Wednesday at 7 starting on May 30th. And we're using the book, The Biology of Belief, to support this idea of self-mastery. So there's that. June 10th, we're doing a discovery class. If you're interested in being a member or want to know what membership is all about or know some of the basics of this philosophy, you can join us for that. Also on June 24th, it's like, I know I'm just rattling this off, right? June 24th, we're doing our next spiritual cinema date. So following service that day, I've gone back and forth about what movie we're going to show, but I have decided now that on that date, we're going to show the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, because it's a great way of wrapping up the class we just completed. So that'll be on June 24th. Also, we will be participating in Pride this year, Gay Pride. And if you are interested in volunteering, please speak with Fred, who's raising his hands back there. There is also a sign-up sheet, because we're going to need people out there to support the center and, be bodies in the street and talk to people and say hello and let them know that this is a community where they are welcome. And, that's one of my goals, is to make sure that everybody in this city, gay, straight, male, female, young, old, everyone is welcome here. Everyone. So that's happening on June 30th and July 1st. Also, we are still collecting money for our video camera, which I think we're getting close to. I don't know how much we've raised right off the top of my head, but we're getting close. But we still need to finish out raising the money for that. Also, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, I'm a big believer in social networking, and that's how this center, that's how we get the word out here. So please, if you like what you're hearing here, please go to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and let your friends know about it, and tag the center so that they know how to get here. So that's the announcements for today. So again, I'm going to ask you, how is everyone today? Yes, you are extraordinary. And I've made an executive decision. I've decided we're not creating amazing lives here. No, amazing isn't good enough for me. We're creating extraordinary lives here. Amazingly extraordinary. Yes, so that's the new thing. We are creating extraordinary lives here. So that's what we celebrate every Sunday when we come here to this place. and do this thing called service, right? I mean, yes, we liken it to a church service, which it is. I mean, let's face it, we're a church. We're trying to get church status with the province, which we would be the first center for spiritual living in the entire country to get church status, not just nonprofit status. So we're working on that. But we come here to talk about God on a Sunday morning. Sounds like church to me. But the thing about this philosophy is we're not talking about God out there who's passing judgment. We're not talking about something that we have to supplicate ourselves to and, beg forgiveness and all of that. No. We don't go there. We understand that the divine is something within ourselves and that we get to let that unfold. We get to let that create our lives. So who's here for the first time? Welcome. Thank you for being here today. So that's what we celebrate, and that's why I also like to know who's here for the first time. I don't know what your backgrounds are. I don't know if you know Science of Mind. I don't know if you know about Centers for Spiritual Living, but we're here to celebrate. And today we're going to celebrate in some different ways, too, so be prepared. Because you know me, I like to change it up. So one of the ways that we do this is by reading our Declaration of Principles. So if you take your songbook, and actually, we're not going to read the Declaration of Principles, but we are going to read this thing in the very small writing on the front cover, or on the front of it, right underneath where it says Spiritual Director, Reverend Jonathan Zenz. And I like to switch this up, and I like to read this on occasion, because it's a great reminder to me that I'm in charge of my life, and you're in charge of your life. So as you say these words, take charge and know that these are the truth to the degree to which you embody them. So let's read this together. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within me now. Yes, indeed. So, I'm going to invite Sonia up. We've changed stuff around. Yes. You go away for 3 months. So we welcome Sonia back because she has been in Egypt for the last 3 months. You're doing our reading today. And she didn't know that we'd made this change. So yes, we do the reading now, and I may change that later because I like change. Right up here, you can speak right into that microphone. Here, I can.
Make it shorter?
There you go. It's nice to see you. Thank you for my little cups, too.
Thank you. We have Starbucks in Egypt, and I hear that he's a fan when I watch on TV, on my laptop, yes. So I have been in Egypt for the past 3 months. It's a very interesting place to be right now. We have an election coming up on the 23rd, and they've just had their very first ever in their history parliamentary debate. Okay. So I brought this book with me, no coincidence, even fewer mistakes, right? Words that hurt, words that heal. How to choose words wisely and well. And you can bet that those presidential candidates were trying to choose their words wisely and well to market to the entire country. They're actually doing the election on the 23rd and some areas in the 24th, and we have such a high illiteracy rate that people can't read their ballots. So the pictures of the presidents, they can't put them on the ballot, but what they do is they put symbols. So, for instance, one of the top candidates, his symbol is a horse, and another person has a symbol that is a scale or a tennis racket even. So you can imagine that the spoken word becomes very, very important. So I have a short passage on that for my reading today. In a small Eastern European town, a man went through the community slandering the rabbi. One day, feeling suddenly remorseful, he begged the rabbi for forgiveness and offered to undergo any penance to make amends. The rabbi told him to take a feather pillow from his home, cut it open, scatter the feathers to the wind, then return to see him. The man did as he was told, then came to the rabbi and asked, "Am I now forgiven?" "Almost," came the response. "You just have to do one more thing. Go and gather all the feathers." But that's impossible, the man protested. The wind has already scattered them. Precisely, the rabbi answered. And although you truly wish to correct the evil you have done, it is as impossible to repair the damage done by your words as it is to recover the feathers. This famous tale is a testimony to the power of words. That words are powerful may seem obvious, but the fact is that most of us, most of the time, use them lightly. We choose our clothes more carefully than we choose our words, though what we say about and to others can define them indelibly. That is why ethical speech, speaking fairly of others, honestly about ourselves, and carefully to everyone is so important. If we keep the power of words in the foreground of our consciousness, we will handle them as carefully as we would a loaded gun.
Thank you. I am reminded every single week that there are no mistakes and that everything is unfolding perfectly, because that was perfect to what I'm speaking on today. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So this is one of the ways that we're changing today. Normally we go into the very lovely chant and we all get very mellow. Today I want you to stand up. And I'm going to switch over to this microphone because we're going to do an upbeat chant today. So if you, you should probably look at your songbooks too.
Number 3.
Number 3 in your songbooks. And I'll tell you the reason that this happened is because we were rehearsing this on Friday night. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a dirge. It's going to make me so depressed. So I said, but they said, oh, we used to do this upbeat. I'm like, great, we're doing it upbeat. But how are you going to treat? You'll see. Here and right now, we take this energy, the energy of this music and this vibration of this music, and understand that it is from this one perfect presence, this one perfect power, this one infinite intelligence that is having its way by means of each and every one of us. It is perfectly present right here in this room, and it is happening because we are here and we are celebrating in this time together. And so I let this be the timbre and the tenor of this entire service. I let this energy carry me forth, and I trust it carries every single person forth in love. In love. I know that love is the basis for which all things are created, and so I simply let that be the truth of my life, and I trust it's the truth of the lives of everyone here. And so with a grateful heart, I simply let this be. I let go, I let God. I know that it is done, and I release this word right now. I release it, I let it go, and together we say, and so it is. Infinite joy flow through me. Infinite joy flow through me. Infinite joy flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. Infinite power flow through me. Infinite power flow through me. Infinite power flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. Awesome. And you can be seated. So let's continue this energy. Let's take this and let this be anchored in truth a little bit more by our wonderful spiritual mind treatment by Helen Dino Brega.
So please join me as we focus our attention here together. I speak these words for everyone here when I say that It is Spirit, God, oneness, light. In every situation, in every person, in everything. It is the energy of life. It is truth. I am it. Divinity, love, all that is good and true. I remember right here, right now. I remember to remember to remember. God is good. Life is good. I am goodness. And with a deep thanks for all that is, for these truths expressing right here, right now, for Spirit's presence, I release, I let go, and I say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. So, our words have power. This seems to be the theme of today. Our words have power. And when you're speaking to yourself, that may be the most powerful thing you can do to change your life. In fact, it is the most powerful thing you can do to change your life. And so our song today reflects that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the song and how it came to be today. But let's just launch into the song right now.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. I'm gonna make it right. As I turned up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? Summer's disregard, broken bottle top, and one man's soul. They followed each other on the window. They've got nowhere to go. That's why I wanted to know. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message to be anywhere. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change, yeah. Na, 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 being a victim of the selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there's some with no homes, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? Though we're all deeply scarred by this broken heart and a washed out dream. Follow the pattern of the wind you see, 'cause they've got nowhere to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could be anywhere. And if you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could be anywhere. And if you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. the place, take a look at yourself and make a change, change. Oh, yeah. Change, yeah. Na, 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 na.
It's the power of the word. So first of all, you may have noticed that we all cracked up in the middle of, towards the end of that song. So here's the lyric. Take a look at yourself, then make the change. You got to get it right while you got the time, because when you close your heart, then you close your mind.
That's what you're supposed to say.
That's what you're supposed to sing. Now, apparently the last time, or one of the times previous, when we sang this song, Pierre sang.
Go now?
I've got to call you out on this because it's so perfect. So, Pierre sang previously, if you lose your heart, then you lose your mind. So, Tanis this morning in rehearsal says, I don't want to put this in your mind, but make sure you don't say that. So what happens? That's exactly what he sings. So, the word has power. The word has power. Because your life will unfold perfectly, whether you like it or not, based on the word. Oh my gosh. So then the other thing that's happening this morning is we actually had a different song lined up for today. And so so I didn't write my talk at Starbucks today. I just want to, I know, shocking. It's because I left the computer here. I thought, well, I'll have to go to the center. I did go to Starbucks and I got my coffee. I came here and I'm typing, right? But on the way, I'm listening to my iPod. And I just downloaded the 7th edition of the Glee soundtrack. Because I love Glee. I do. And I'll tell you, when I first started watching the show, I thought, oh, these songs are so overproduced. No Glee Club sounds like that. But now I've really gotten into it, and I just accept it for what it is. But I just love it. Just lightens the world. It lightens the world. And so I really, really appreciate what Glee is doing. But that's not really part of the talk. So I'm on my way here, and on this new album, they have Man in the Mirror. And so I'm listening to them like, oh, we need to do that in service soon. Soon, yeah. So I walk in, and there were some circumstances that made the song that we had planned for today not really feasible, and which is fine. So we were talking about it, and Tana says to me, well, you know, maybe we could do Man in the Mirror. I'm like, that's it. We're doing that, because that was in my mind. That was in my mind. I was like, you know, here I am on the way here. I'm like, oh, we should do Man in the Mirror sometime. I love that song. It's not spooky, though. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. We are one connected energy. We are one connected infinite intelligence, and everything is always working out exactly as it is supposed to, regardless of what the circumstances look like. Everything is happening exactly as it needs to. So that's how I preface today. Today I'm talking, the title of my talk today is What Was Taken Out? What was taken out? And I'm not talking about the garbage. So how many of you know about this book, The Science of Mind? Yeah, a number of you do. This is what we base, well, this is like the basic text for this entire philosophy. And most of the quotes that you will hear me say come from this book. I have read this book quite thoroughly. And yeah, it's a great book. Now, this is the edition that was published in 1938. How many of you know that there was an earlier edition published in 1926? 26 or 29? I have written 26, but then some math doesn't work out later on. Anyway, there was an earlier edition of the book called The Science of Mind and Spirit. The science of mind and spirit. So what I'm going to talk about today was what was taken out. And spirit. So this edition of the book, the 1926 or 29 edition, it's available, it's in the public domain. You can go online, look it up, basically put in original science of mind and it will come up and you can read the entire thing online. But I will tell you, if you do that, be warned that it's not, some of it has not really, like, they've taken liberties and there are a lot of discrepancies in terms of what you can find online. This obviously is the more common edition. This is what we base all of the classwork on. And it's the one we sell in our bookstore. Now, last year, they published a new edition called The Complete Edition of the Science of Mind. And what they have done is they've taken the earlier version and they've taken the 1938 version and they've put them into one book. So you actually have both versions in one book, which is really interesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what those changes were between 1926 and 1938. In the 1926 edition, Ernest Holmes has information on psychic phenomena, which he gets into a little bit here. Now, the psychic phenomenon is being able to tap into another person's use of mind, the individual use of mind, and being able to read thoughts, right? That's what psychism is. So he kind of removed that from the later version of the book because apparently people were getting too locked into those ideas rather than understanding that there is an intuitive knower that is working itself through us. And that's what you really want to tap into. That's what you want to tap into because quite frankly, what I think does not matter to you. What you think is what should matter to you. And what is coming through you from this infinite power is what should matter to you. So psychic phenomena only lets you know one thing. It lets you know what somebody else is thinking. And does it really matter what somebody else is thinking? No, it only matters what you are thinking because your thoughts create your life. So another thing that he took out of the book was he took out some of the spiritualism from the book. Now, that's when we're talking about mediums and channeling and things like that. He actually removed that. Now, I believe that those things exist. I believe that those things actually do have effect in this world. Now, the degree to which I want to get myself involved with them is my own personal choice. Not so much. I don't need to go to somebody to help me understand what is intuitively happening through me. I just need to tap in myself. Right? So mediums channeling is again going to that realm of I need you to be the intermediary to God, basically. Well, there's a great big religion that does that. It's called the Catholic Church. They require intermediaries to God. The truth is we all have access to that one divine power. It is flowing through us at all times. So he took out this spiritualism. The other thing that he took out a great deal of is he actually did talk a great deal about sex. Children, cover your ears. I don't really need to get into that. He took it out of the book. So why were these things taken out? Why were these things taken out? I don't know. What we do know is that Ernest Holmes was open at the top. Now what that means is that he was always open to new ideas. He was always open to knowing something more. He was always open at the top to allow spirit to intuit through him and to hear and see and read and understand different philosophies and say, hey, that works for the betterment of humankind. And so that's something that I can buy into. So in those years, between the 1926 edition and the 1938 edition, he clarified his ideas. He basically whittled them down to a deeper understanding of the two things that we teach, which is the divinity of man, that God is all there is, and it is what you and I are, and the law of cause and effect. That everything is operating based on this law of cause and effect. So for everything that's happening in your life, there is a cause. But it's interesting that he took out that part of the title, the science of mind and spirit. And now we just know it as the science of mind. And that's what I want to look at today. And I don't want to look at it as an intellectual exercise, because basically you now have the intellectual information, right? But what is the practicality behind these things? What happens when you remove spirit? What happens when you remove spirit from your life? Separate. You separate yourself from the one thing that is going on. Now, can you ever truly be separated? No, you can't. But you can believe that you are separate. And that's not where we want to go. We want to go more and more into the embodiment of the unification of God and man. This is what my entire ministry is based on, this idea of eliminating the gap. I've talked about it before. There's the human experience and there's the divine. And this is how we talk about it, trying to find the balance between the two, right? Well, there's this whole thing in the middle. That's what I call the gap. And ultimately, what I am trying to teach people is to eliminate the gap, to bring the divine into the human, understanding that they are one and the same. The divine is the human is the divine. And so we should all start acting accordingly. And that is what we teach. Spirit is everything. Everything is spirit. In both editions, I found this sentence, because I love being able to look things up on the internet and do word searches and things. So this sentence is in both. Spirit is the mother, father, God, because it is the principle of unity back of all things. All things. It is the principle of unity back of all things. What he's saying there is one thing, unity. There is one thing going on, and it's spirit. Now we can call it love. We can call it the universe. We can call it God. We can call it Fred. We can call it whatever we want to call it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And we can call it the wall. I love going to this wall. I love having this wall here, because I like to slap it and then feel bad, because if it does have self-consciousness, then if it's consciously aware of itself, then I hope I'm not harming it. Spirit is the one thing that is going on. So, if there is only spirit, then what is man or woman? What is it? Why do we exist? Why are we here? The big question. The big question, which is what most people are looking to have answered by coming to places like this. Why are we here? Well, let's define man or woman. Ernest Holmes defines man. So I'm going to keep saying man. I hope you understand that I'm not trying to be gender specific. It's just that that's the way it was written. Man is the objectification of God in human form. The objectification of God in human form. So remember, every week when I say, you are God, that's what I'm saying. You are God. That's what God is through you. You are God. Man is the idea of God manifested in the flesh. So there's one creative power, one creative intelligence. We could say there's one power, there's one intelligence, but I always typically go to there's one creative power, one creative intelligence. Because God, the thing itself, the one thing is always creating. We are all creations of God, and we are created of God. We are God in that we are the created intelligence in form. We are the objectifications of God in human form. So there is no difference between God and man or woman. There is no difference. We just tend to think there's a difference. We get lost in this idea that, oh, so if there is God and I am me, then there must be something between us. We think that there's separation. So we have taken spirit out of the equation. And we start believing in separation. We start believing that God has will separate from ours, and that this will is always done. I mean, I do believe that God's will is always done, but God's will is our will. And so the degree to which you believe is what will happen in your life. So we believe in separation. Now, do you know what Ernest Holmes defines as a sense of separation from God? Anyone have any thoughts about what Ernest Holmes describes as a sense of separation from God? Despair? Sin? Well, if you look up the word hell in the glossary of the science of mind, he says hell is a sense of separation from God. We do not believe in heaven and hell in this philosophy. We believe in heaven or hell to the degree that we're living it right here and right now. It is a state of mind. So any sense that you are separate from God, we would say, to that degree, you are living in hell. Because all discord, everything that happens that is out of sync happens because of this idea of separation. And that's what happens when you take spirit out of the equation. And when you take spirit out of the equation and you think you, the small y-o-u, when you think you're doing the work, when you think you're the one creating, then you can get lost very easily. So you have a choice. You have a choice. You get to live in heaven. You get to live in heaven right here and right now, or you get to live in hell. But you know what? It is a choice. It is a choice. And that's the great gift that we have been given. As created embodiments of the divine, our individual use of thought, our individual use of mind, who we are individually, our personality allows us this great gift that we get to choose at every moment where we're going to live. Now, Ernest Holmes also wrote, and I've talked about this before, man never creates. And that's important to know. We, the individualized person, I don't create anything. I don't create anything. So when we talk about creating our lives, what we're talking about is taking a new idea and implanting that seed into the divine mind, and our lives unfold. But it is God that is doing the creating. I'm starting to sound like a Southern Baptist preacher. It is God doing the creating. But the truth is, it is God. By means of us, yes, because again, there is no separation. And this is, again, where everybody gets confused. It's like, well, if I put if I put a new thought into the law, then I'm the one doing the creating. Yes, but what is creative is so much greater than you, which is not to diminish you in any way. I'm not here to do that, because here's the great news too. You can, I'm trying to formulate the sentence because I didn't write it down. It's coming to me in the moment. You can embody all of God. I believe this. Now, this is not something we necessarily teach. I'm sorry, James Mellon. Because in the teaching, in the classwork, we still tend to diminish ourselves by saying we are an individualized expression of the divine. But the divine is fully present at any point of space or time. It is fully present. The allness of God exists right here and right now by means of each and every one of us. And I believe that the day is coming when we tap into that idea and embody that idea so deeply that, like I said last week, we don't need to come here on a Sunday to be reminded. So how do we create better lives? How do we create better lives? Ernest Holmes writes, we should never forget that both the letter, that's the word, that is our word, our belief, which we call the word, the letter and the spirit are necessary in our work. The letter molds while spirit creates. The thought is a mold. And I love this. Conviction is the molten substance poured into this mold. Conviction is the molten substance poured into this mold. One is not complete without the other. The great thing about conviction is that it means that to the degree that you can take charge of your thoughts and have firm conviction behind them, they will demonstrate. I must have had a very convicted mind this morning. Convicted mind. It must have been very clear in my mind that we were going to do Man in the Mirror very soon, because boy, just like that. Just like that. That's the way all of our demonstrations can be, but it depends on the level of the conviction behind your belief. And so any place in your life where you have doubt or where you have fear, that is diminishing the level of conviction. It is taking you away from your understanding that you are God. It is separating spirit. It is taking out spirit. So what mold are you going to use in your life? You're at choice right now. What mold are you going to use? What's it going to be? Are you going to live within the erroneous beliefs that have not been working for you, or are you willing to give them up right now? And give them up right now. There is no work that is required except the decision to give up the erroneous beliefs. Be done with them. You don't need them. They're not doing you any good. Give up the erroneous beliefs and step into the deeper embodiment at all times that you are that which is. I'm sitting here thinking, do I start talking about the Old Testament or not? No, I'll leave that for another talk. Instead of talking about the Old Testament, I'm going to talk about that other great source of all knowledge, Facebook. Now, I know you all know that I love Facebook. A little bit of a Facebook junkie. So there was this great article that was going around Facebook this week, and I've seen it before, and it's just started making the rounds in cyberspace again. And I want to thank Bob Holmes, my friend Alex's father, for posting this on the CSL Toronto page, because I think it's important that we all understand this. So the article are the 15 things you should give up in order to have a better life. Oh, it was so brilliant. So brilliant. Because, you know, anybody who's just kind of looking at it willy-nilly would go, oh, well, it's probably things like give up smoking and give up things in the physical world. However, that's not really what it's all about. What this article is teaching people is how to get rid of erroneous beliefs and how to more deeply embody the divine. So I'm going to go through these 15 very quickly. I won't, I could do a whole talk on just one of them. And I just want you to listen and see how these things resonate in your own mind. So number 1, give up your need to always be right. Say that again? Forget about it. The minute you give up your need to always be right, you open yourself to a new idea. If we live in an infinite universe, and we do live in an infinite universe, your conviction that you are right is only limiting God. God is infinite. Your decision that you are right is now limiting or trying to limit the infinite. When you give up your need to always be right, you are opening yourself up. You are opening up your heart and allowing the divine to flow through you more freely. Which goes right in line with number 2. Give up your need for control. This is a really tough one for me. This is a tough one for me, right? Because I come in here for music rehearsal and I'm like, this morning I let everything happen because that's why Man in the Mirror got played. But I'm very specific about how I want the music in this center to be. And at some point I have to step back and say, you know what? Just let it be. It's perfect. And it is. It's perfect. This music, I love our music program. I really do. And I do have to catch myself and step back and say, you know what? You don't need to be in control of every little detail. Because then what I'm doing is I'm micromanaging. And yeah, you know what? Yes, I'm the boss here. But I need to trust that there are brilliant people who are here in support of an idea, and I don't need to micromanage them. We work together. I think we work together really well. Yeah. But you can see, sometimes I get it, I'm like, okay, no, we need to, it's counted like this. And I'm like pounding out like how things get counted, right? Sometimes, you know what? In support of a higher idea, sure. But I can also give up that need for control. It just means we do a different song. Give up the need for control. Number 3, give up blame. Give up blame. And you know the person that you need to give up the blame for the most is yourself. You must. I say it in mental muscle all the time. I say it in class all the time. Let yourself off the hook. It is one of the most important lessons I have ever learned, to let myself off the hook. I mean, you can just feel the energy lighten in the entire room when I say, let yourself off the hook. Whatever it is, the blame is holding you back. It is holding you down. Let yourself off the hook. The blame goes away. Number 4, give up your self-defeating self-talk. Give up your self-defeating self-talk. I mentioned a song a few weeks ago called Children Will Listen. Careful the things you say, children will listen. And I said you could very easily change children to spirit. Careful the things you say, spirit will listen. The truth is, spirit is always listening. When you engage in self-defeating self-talk, you are creating more things to feel defeated by. Because that's the way the law works. The law is the mold. Your self-defeating self-talk is the conviction you are pouring into the mold, and it is creating more of the same, and more of the same, and more of the same. When you give up the self-defeating self-talk and open yourself up to a deeper embodiment of the divine, by upholding that truth in your life and standing tall, again, the weight is lifted. Number 5, give up your limiting beliefs. whatever you have that is limiting you, it is up to you to change it. No one can change it for you. It is entirely up to you. That's responsibility. That is taking responsibility for your life. And I talk a lot about personal responsibility because it's one of the things that's a real, people don't really want to hear that they're responsible for their lives. They want something outside themselves to be responsible. They want to defer to an outside God that is passing judgment on them. A lot of people live their lives like that. The truth is, that's not the case. You are in charge. Give up your limiting beliefs. Give them up. Know that you are that which is. Really good one. Number 6 is week 2 of boot camp of mental muscle. Give up complaining. Give up complaining. Because you know what you create when you complain? Again, it's like the self-defeating self-talk. When you complain, there's the conviction you're pouring into the mold. You're creating more to complain about when you complain. Give it up. Which goes also in line with, give up the luxury of criticism. Give it up. When you criticize, there's one person you're criticizing. It's yourself. If you think you're criticizing somebody else, not the case. You are criticizing yourself. Give it up. Number 8, give up your need to impress others.
Come on.
Again. You know what? I'm with you. That's a hard one for me. Because here I am, last November. Oh, did I want to impress you? I wanted to be the minister you wanted, right? Oh, boy, did I want to impress you. When I gave that up, everything unfolded exactly as it needed to. And if I had not ended up here, that would have been okay. If I hadn't ended up here, that would have been okay for all of us. That's the truth. That is my conviction. We may not have been a good fit. I like to think we are a good fit. Number 9. Number 9. Yeah. Give up your resistance to change. If there is one thing you can be certain of, it's change. You know what? You are not the same person you were when you walked in here an hour ago. You are not the same person. You change. And it's a great thing. It is a great thing that you change, because how boring would it be if you were the same all the time? So give up your resistance to change. Number 10, give up labels. Give up labels. Who needs them? That's why I'm always up here. I'm like, am I the pastor? Am I the spiritual director? I don't know what I am. I am me. I'm here with a message just to give today. It could easily be any one of you up here. Do you believe that? I see some yeses. I see some nos. The truth is, there is no difference between me and you. There is no difference between you and me. You and I? It's you and me. It's. I'm going to give up the need for the label. There is no difference. That goes back to we are one. We are one. We are one infinite intelligence expressing individualized by means of each and every one of us. But we all have access to the same knower knowing through us. So I'm just the one that gets to be up here and talk about it. But it could be any one of you. And if you are called to that, fantastic. Give up on your fears. That's number 11. Give up on your fears. Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Oh, I'm such a child of the 70s. I really don't have enough time to tell you this, but so Attack of the Clones was on television yesterday. No, not the Phantom Menace. Oh, they were both on television yesterday. I watched the Phantom Menace, which I hadn't seen since I saw it in the theater in 1999. And I'm watching, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. But Yoda says, fear leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Give up your fears. Fear is the opposite of faith. Fear is the opposite of faith. When you are living in fear, how can you possibly live in faith? Fear is a misunderstanding. So give it up. There is no need to fear. Especially if you really embody the idea that everything is working out and expressing exactly as it needs to. Number 12, give up your excuses. Give them up. You don't need them. Excuses do nobody any good. God, this is really getting depressing, isn't it? Because everybody's sitting here going, oh, I have to do all of this. I'm just saying, you know what? You can do this to the degree that you want to do it. But know that if you can really do this, if you can really commit to this, your life is going to explode. How many of you are ready for that? You ready for your life to explode into something? Wow, that's not very many of you. How many of you want to live an extraordinary life? Yes? Absolutely. I want to live an extraordinary life. Start tomorrow? Tomorrow, you know what? You may not be here tomorrow. You may not be here tomorrow. Any of us, we may not be here in an hour. That asteroid that they talk about could be it. Boom, like that. We're done. I don't fear that. I don't. You know why? Because I understand a principle that there is infinite life. And if I go to the next thing, then I go to the next thing, regardless of how that happens. I frequently say, I don't know. Well, I am getting into this. I frequently say, because it comes up in class a lot, people who transition to the other side do not experience death. They don't experience death. We who are left behind are the ones who experience death. And that's why we all have fear of death. I don't have any fear of death because I know that my life is eternal. Because I am something that can never die. God can never die. The infinite can never die. Ever. And if that's what I am, then I can never die. When I go to the next thing, I'm simply going to the next thing. I said give up your excuses? Yes. 13, give up the past. The past has no bearing on anything from this point forward, except to the degree that you allow it to in your own mind. So if you are deciding that your future is going to be something because of something that happened in the past, give it up. Your future is unlimited and infinite in its scope. Many of us step into the idea that we have to limit ourselves because we've been taught. We've been taught. That's past tense. We've been taught. And that's simply not the truth. If God is unlimited, then anything can happen from this point forward. If your past is holding you back, give it up. Give up attachment. And here I'm going to go with give up attachment to outcome. Because when you have an attachment to the outcome of any given situation, you have now limited what can happen. You don't need to. Why not be open to the pure potentiality? See, I can always tie these into classes. The pure potentiality, as Deepak Chopra discusses, the pure potentiality of spirit moving through you and creating anything. Give up attachment. And number 15 of these 15 things you should give up, Give up living your life to other people's expectations. Give up living your life according to other people's expectations. What other people think of you is none of your business. Are you going to step into the extraordinary life that I know is at hand for each and every one of you? Or are you going to continue to limit your life by buying into other people's expectations, by buying into your own fear, by buying into the luxury of criticism, any number of things here? These are all things which hold us back. You are at choice right here and right now to get rid of all of them. When you do that, you are aligning yourself more closely and more deeply with Spirit and as Spirit. You're taking the human and the divine, and you are eliminating the gap. This is all done in mind. Because mind, your belief, your word is the only causative force. That's it. Nothing outside of you causes anything to happen to you. It all starts in mind. So what choice are you going to make? What are you going to give up today? Your word, your belief, your thought is the new mold. You create the mold based on those things. And that is how you affect change in life. So today, I encourage you, right in this moment, to be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Sound good? Yes? Let's say that with some enthusiasm. Does that sound good? Yes. Fantastic. Namaste. Oh, I so appreciate all of you letting me berate you for, 40 minutes, telling you all the things that you need to change. But you know what? I need water. I always need water. You don't have to do any of it. That's the truth. You're at choice. So I honor that you are all at choice. I will suggest that if you do these things, it will make it better, but there you go. So we are at the point of the service where we do our offering. And so I invite you to take out whatever it is that you are going to put in the basket today. And you know what? Take this out, put it in your hand, even if it's a popsicle stick. And the popsicle sticks, for those of you who don't know, are the people who are in our Count Me In program, which is our pre-authorized debit program. It's just a representation that they've made a commitment to this center and they have their offering taken out of their account automatically. Whatever it is that you have to give today, I ask that you give from your heart. I ask that you give it from your heart and not out of obligation. Because this is the embodiment of a deeper ideal, that there is a cause and effect universe, and we are all living in it. And the degree to which you give is the degree to which you will have this returned to you. So we're encouraging the flow. We're encouraging the flow of God by way of money. And I talk about money because if I believe that money is anything separate, then I believe in something that can have control over me. And so I honor what it is that everybody gives today, and I say thank you for it because it is in gratitude that I know that this money goes from this center to do greater work in the world. And so as the basket goes around, if you'd like to stand up and sing with us number 19 in your books, I am so blessed. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you. these blessings, I'm going to invite Helen Dino Brega up to the platform to do a blessing over the offering.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And together we join as I speak these words for everyone here, knowing that Spirit is here, right now, in all these gifts. I have more than enough to share. I know these gifts are used wisely for the highest good of all. And Spirit is the source of all abundance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Freely release this to multiply and be returned abundantly. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And so I do want to offer my gratitude to everyone who helped make this service happen today. Setting up today were Susan and Deborah. Our greeters were Gail and Margaret Ann. In the bookstores, Patricia. Our board members today, Jim and Judy. In the sound, of course, Brian. Woohoo! Yay, Brian. Pierre Gautreau in the band. I can name Tanis Burnett, Patrick Lee, Rudy Jock. Yay! And Brian, playing bass from the booth. Down with the kids today are Mahala and Mark. Yes, indeed. I'm a firm believer in the youth program, as I frequently talk about. I love having a youth program here, and I know that it is ready to explode. So if you know anyone who would like to, help their children understand that they are of value and help encourage self-worth and self-esteem, they can do that by joining in on our youth program downstairs. I also would like to thank our practitioner, who's just coming back in the door, Helen Dino Brega, for your wonderful treatment. I want to thank Tony for working our camera and our webcast today. And I do want to again welcome you back to Toronto from your sojourn in Egypt and say thank you so much for a wonderful reading, Sonia. Thank you so much. So, another glass of water. And let's step back for a moment. Step back. And I see them outside the door, so let's welcome the kids into the room. Come on in, guys.
Hi, kids.
I don't think they can hear me. Are you being...
Come on in.
Hello! Come on in. So, I invite you to take what it is you've heard today. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Let it go. Let it go. Step into this moment anew. Know that you are in charge. You are the one. You are the creative power. You are the creative source embodied right here and right now. There is only this one infinite intelligence, and it is experiencing itself by means of you. That's the truth. So I encourage you to simply sit back, relax, be still, and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
And so in this moment, I recognize that there is only God. There is only love. There is only intelligence. There is only energy. There is only power. This one thing is expressing itself by means of each and every one of us. It is who and what we are. And so today I lay claim to a deeper embodiment of this idea. I lay claim to a deeper understanding that the embodiment of this idea allows us each to express in more profound, infinite ways. This is the truth of who each and every one of us is. And so I simply give over to that. And I know, I simply know. And so with a grateful heart, I simply let this be the truth. I let go. I let God. I release this word as law, knowing it is complete, right here and right now. I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know
We are God.
Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know.
And so it is. Thank you all. So if you'd like to stand up and take a look at your songbooks, and we'll finish the day with
Number 20, Watching the River Run.
Watching the River Run.
If you've been thinking of all that you've got, you don't feel alone anymore. When we're together, then you got a lot. 'Cause I
Have a great week, everyone.